something fascinating. If you weigh 70 kilograms, about 42 kilograms of that is just water. That's right, more than half of you is fluid. But don't be fooled. This isn't ordinary water sitting still like in a bottle. Inside your body, this fluid is alive, moving, exchanging, transporting, balancing every second without you even noticing. Today we're diving deep, really deep, into the physiology of body fluids. We'll uncover how this watery world inside you keeps every cell alive, every nerve firing, and every heartbeat steady. So grab a seat and let's explore what it really means to be a fluid being. Let's start with the basics. When we talk about body fluids, we are not just talking about water. We are talking about the mixture of water, electrolytes, proteins, and dissolved substances that make up the internal environment of the human body. The internal environment is where all your cells live. Think of it like the ocean. A human cell is like a small organism floating in a perfectly balanced sea. If the sea dries up, becomes too salty, or too dilute, that cell can't survive. So maintaining the right balance of fluids is everything. The human body is an incredible chemist. It keeps the water and electrolytes in just the right proportions. And this constant balancing act, called homeostasis, is the secret to life itself. So now let's talk about where all this fluid actually lives. Imagine your body as a city. There are two main neighborhoods where fluids are found: the intracellular fluid, which is the ICF, that is the fluid inside your cells, and the extracellular fluid, ECF, which is the fluid outside your cell. About two-thirds of your total body fluid is inside the cell, that is the ICF. This is where most of the biochemical magic happens: metabolism, energy production, protein synthesis, all happening in a water based environment. The remaining one third is outside the cell, that is the ECF. But this extracellular neighborhood is divided into smaller zones. We have the interstitial fluid, which is the fluid between your cells, like the spaces in between buildings in a city. We have the plasma, which is the liquid part of your blood, carrying nutrients, hormones, and oxygen, and a small portion in special places like cerebrospinal fluid, lymph, and synovial fluids in joints. So every drop of fluid has a job. Nothing is wasted. Here is where it gets interesting. Both the intracellular fluids and extracellular fluids contain water, but what's dissolved in that water makes all the difference. Inside the cell, potassium reigns supreme, whereas outside the cell, it's sodium that rules. These ions are like the positive and negative poles of a battery. Their difference in concentration creates electrical energy, essential for nerve impulses, muscle contraction, and heart rhythm. Other key electrolytes include chlorine and bicarbonate for acid-base balance, calcium and magnesium for muscle and nerve function, and proteins, especially in plasma, that maintain osmotic balance and transport molecules. Every cell depends on these ions and molecules being in just the right place at just the right concentration. Body fluids are not static. They are constantly moving between compartments through three main processes: osmosis, diffusion, and active transport. Diffusion is like perfume spreading in a room. Particles move from high to low concentration until everything evens out. Osmosis is the movement of water from a less concentrated solution to a more concentrated one. balancing the saltiness between compartments. Active transport uses energy to move ions against their concentration gradients, like the sodium being pumped out of cell and potassium pumped in. Famous sodium potassium pump. Together, these processes ensure that every cell gets what it needs and sends out what it doesn't, keeping the body's internal ocean perfectly balanced. So here's where the real genius of human physiology shines. The body doesn't just let fluid balance happen by chance. It regulates it with incredible precision. First, we have the kidneys. They are the master regulators. They filter the blood, deciding how much water to keep or release, how many electrolytes to retain, and how to maintain pH balance. When you are dehydrated, your kidneys conserve water, producing concentrated urine. When you drink too much, they release the excess, producing dilute urines. Second, we have the hormones. Several hormones act as the body's fluid managers. First, we have antidiuretic hormone, ADH, also known as vasopressin. They help your kidneys to retain water when the body is running low. Second, we have aldosterone, which promotes sodium reabsorption, which indirectly helps retain water. And thirdly, we have atrial natriuretic peptide, ANP, which works in the opposite direction, helping to eliminate sodium and water to reduce body volume. So we have the test mechanism, which is located in the hypothalamus. This system detects changes in body concentration. When your body senses dehydration, it triggers thirst, your natural sign to restore balance. So now let us take a look at what happens when things go wrong. When body fluid balance is disturbed, it affects every system in the body. Firstly, we have dehydration, and this happens when you lose more fluid than you take in through sweating, vomiting, diarrhea, or inadequate intake. You feel tired, dizzy, and your blood pressure drops. Secondly, we have overhydration, also called water intoxication. Yes, even too much water can be dangerous. It dilutes electrolytes, especially sodium, leading to confusion, seizures, or even coma. Thirdly, we have electrolyte imbalances. Too little potassium can cause muscle weakness, too much sodium raises blood pressure, and abnormal calcium level can disturb heart rhythm. The body's fluid regulation is delicate. Just a small change can tip the scales. Why is this important? Think about this. Every time you sweat or cry, urinate, or even breathe out, you're losing water. This is why hydration isn't just about drinking water, it's about maintaining the perfect chemistry for life. Athletes, for example, need electrolyte rich fluids to replace what's lost in sweat. Hospital patients receive IV fluids, not just for hydration, but to restore electrolytes and plasma balance. Even mild dehydration can reduce focus, slow reaction times, and affect moods. So, understanding body fluids isn't just for medical students, it's a key to understanding yourself. So, let's wrap this up beautifully. Your body is like a living ocean. Every cell is a tiny island, and the fluids are waves that connect them. They carry nutrients, remove waste, maintain temperature, and allow communication through electrical signal. From the firing of neurons to the beating of your heart, nothing, absolutely nothing, would happen without body fluids. They are the silent, flowing heroes of your existence. So the next time you drink water, Take a second to appreciate what it's doing, flowing through every vein, bathing every cell, and sustaining life itself.